Zero Mile is a Terminus Media production. If you would like to know more about Terminus Media, please head on over to terminusmedia.com. Now, on with your show.
Hi, welcome to Zero Mile, your final stop in Atlanta's geek culture. I'm your host, Kelly McDaniel, and these are my co-hosts.
I'm Chris Cowan.
And I'm Matthew Malice, filling in for Zongo Vilding this week.
All right, and we're going to go ahead and jump right into it because we've got a lot of TV news. So let's see what pulled into the station this week.
Okay. All right, we've got more Inhumans casting announcement. We've got Ken Lung has landed the role of Karnak, so he'll be starring alongside Anson Mount as Black Bolt, Ewan Rion, previously announced as Maximus, Serinda Swan will be playing Queen Medusa, and the rest of the main cast will be comprised of Aimee Iquikor, Isabel Comish, Mike Moe, Sonia Balmores, and Ellen Woglam. They've also said Lockjaw, the giant teleporting dog, will be appearing in the series.
Not the shark?
No, not the
Hanna-Barbera
shark.
shark.
Not the Hanna-Barbera shark.
No.
That was Jabberjaw, not Lockjaw.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
I tried.
They're going to do an 8-episode season, and they're going to have an IMAX premiere on September 1st of the first 2 episodes. So it should be interesting to see how such a short series is going to squeeze into the ABC fall lineup. It will be on Tuesdays, where Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. usually lives.
Oh, it's probably a mid-season thing.
Yeah.
They're filling it in mid-season
Well,
and
Agents
then
of
kind of go back
S.H.I.E.L.D.
into
is
S.H.I.E.L.D.
coming back
Also,
in April.
it being only 8 seasons, even though they're going to go into the 9s, probably
8
says...
episodes.
8 episodes. What did I say, 9 episodes?
You said
You said
8
8
seasons.
8 seasons of Humans, everyone. No. 8 episodes. And they're kind of doing the Game of Thrones treatment. They're putting more bang for your buck per episode, which I'm interested with this whole IMAX thing.
Yeah, I mean, they are going to need way more money for their special effects, considering, like, Medusa with the giant prehensile hair.
It's probably going to be a miniseries, and then if it garners enough buzz, I feel like it's probably going to take over for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Because, let's be fair, that show is dying.
I feel the current season's really picked up from...
But
like,
the
Ghost
buzz,
Rider
the general
and
buzz,
stuff.
and the general amount of like advertising that they do for it, it's dead.
I don't think it's dead. Let me give you my perspective real quick on it. It's a good time to wrap it up.
Yeah.
It's a good time to close it out and move on to something cooler, a little more interesting. I mean, come on, the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has gotten a little more inhuman as the show progresses.
Exactly.
We're into the next big phase because the cinematic universe is closing up soon. So
yeah.
I mean, they could turn it into like a Secret Warriors thing and have more of an underground vigilante superhero team running around.
And they might. We don't know what ABC has in store for their Marvel TV. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm. All right, next up in the news.
Well, I do have another Marvel-esque TV show, but this time for Fox, for X-Men. Emma Dermott from Bunheads was cast as Polaris. And Piercy Hines White, he's the kid in Night at the Museum 3, which may or may not be a nightmare, as a kid named Andy. And they're basically joining the cast of Amy Acker, who has been cast as a mom, and Stephen Moore from True Blood, and Amy Acker's from Angel and just about everything ever, and I love her. And then Stephen Moore from True Blood, aka Bill from True Blood, is cast as a dad of a lone teen, which is probably Andy.
Yeah.
Just because out of the cast, like, here's your main family, and I'm assuming Polaris is probably the mutant that finds Andy, who is probably a mutant, because the whole point of Amy Acker's role is as a frustrated mother of a mutant.
Yeah, the show looks interesting the more I hear about it.
Exactly. Like, we don't really know too much about it, but then who's been cast. But, like, compared to the cast, like, they're picking really good actors who can have a vast range. And then it seems like it's more going to be about this kid who has mutant powers and trying to figure it out.
Like, find his place in the world.
Exactly.
And how like, normal people dealing with relatives that have powers.
It's
rather
focusing
than
on
just being about a superhero realm.
It's focusing on, like, the mutant persecution angle.
Yeah.
Which is what they're doing, too, in, I've totally lost the name, but in, Legion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sorry. I was like, I totally lost it. Where'd it go? But Legion, because where they're talking very much about, they're using the mutant powers, like, as a mental illness.
Mm-hmm.
So this might be just as, like, a kid having something weird.
Yeah, a kid who's a mutant is a special needs kid. They're someone who has to have special training and special perspectives drawn in so they're educated properly.
I really like it because, to me, like, the way these Fox X-Men shows are going, it just feels like the way the original comics went. The original comics used race. They used mental illness. They used special needs, the AIDS epidemic and stuff like that throughout the comic series. And they used those causes with the mutants, as the mutants are the odd man out. So this is just I feel like they're taking that original concept and bringing it into a new light and into a new media that it really it's dipped its toes in the water for it, but didn't really do it right. And now they're kind of doing it right. So I'm really interested.
I want to see if they're going to cross over with the whole Division 2 thing, because the government, if it even is the government, is after Legion because they want to weaponize him.
Yep.
Now since since Stephen Moore is married to Anna Paquin, does that mean Rogue gets to finally make her redemption? Because Anna Paquin really she couldn't stand the way they treated Rogue in the movies, because she wanted Rogue as comic Rogue.
Yeah, I know.
And I feel so bad for her, because she could have been amazing.
Then you got to get the whole Miss Marvel thing in there, and they did not have the
rights to handle
we still don't, fish. But we could. One day.
Maybe.
Because now we have Brie Larson as, Miss Marvel.
Yep.
Essentially. And
that is Captain Marvel now?
It's Captain Marvel now.
Proper
but
title.
We still have, Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel, and Anna Paquin, I still feel like could be the perfect Rogue, given the right script, because she has it in her.
No, I don't doubt. But it's something that's very intriguing to me that's coming up real quick is we're getting in a new, wholly original, 2D animated Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles show. I am 100% down for this one, because it looks like it's going to be called Rise of the Ninja Turtles, and it's going to be about a little bit more mystical side of things, which is going to be interesting, but I think it's going to be very entertaining and sort of reintroduce Ninja Turtles to a modern audience.
With the mystical element, they're basically, are they going to be using a lot of the original comic? Which actually did have more mystical elements in it than anything they've ever put out after that. So that would be interesting to see.
Yeah, it's going to be, what show is it going to be on?
It's Nickelodeon.
Nickelodeon. I said Nickelodeon. Right.
They're doing one more season of the 3D animated one, and then they're going to have the 2D reboot next year.
Okay.
More toys.
More toys.
For everyone.
Yeah. That's really all it boils down to.
Toys, guys.
Toys.
Yeah. I mean,
toys.
I grew up in the 80s, and every single cartoon show we had was a glorified toy commercial.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only reason Ghostbusters the animated series was ever created, was for toys.
But it was good.
Anyway,
Maybe.
Moving on to television news. Heart of Dixie's Cress Williams has been cast in the upcoming Black Lightning TV show on the CW. They're taking an interesting spin on this one. They're going to have him play sort of the older, retired superhero who gets drugged back into action with his daughters and some of their high school friends and some gang activities. So it should be interesting. I guess with him being an older, retired hero, they're not going to have it sit alongside Arrow and Flash.
Yeah, that was
I'm just kind of concerned with Heart of Dixie.
I don't know.
That is not a good show.
I never watched it, so...
You never know. New writers, new production, everything.
I trust the actor. I just am like, ooh.
That's going to be interesting, because CW, all their Arrowverse stuff is all very young, 20-somethings with superpowers. It's very geared towards a specific audience, but you're talking about a guy who's he's a retired superhero and he has daughters. That's an entire different sort of demographic and perspective on superheroes.
It is, but I think too that might also just be CW actually looking at who is watching their shows, because I know even on a personal level, my mother has been obsessed with Supernatural since the beginning.
Ever.
And a lot of older women do watch the CW more so than younger audiences, because they have really good TV rates on cable, and not a lot of younger audiences actually have cable.
That's true, because cutting the cord is now the big thing.
Yeah.
Hence why CW actually has the app that they have now.
Yeah,
exactly.
The day after, you can just watch whatever
I catch all of my CW stuff on their app. It's amazing.
Yep. Yeah. So in Doctor Who news, I'm surprisingly not wearing a Doctor Who shirt today. That basically they stopped doing bets on, as you know, a lot of times they're doing these bets on who's going to be the new Doctor, who's going to be the 13th Doctor. And they stopped bets on Chris Marshall, who is a star in BBC's Death in Paradise. They stopped it, which means that there could be insider knowledge that we obviously don't know yet, which is why they stopped it, because there was way too many bookings for Chris Marshall. Just to give a little perspective, they did the same thing last go around with Peter Capaldi when his, I think his contract ended with The Thick of It, when they were wrapping up The Thick of It. And so he was all of a sudden free, and then his name goes into the running, and they stopped it. And it was obviously Peter Capaldi. Chris Marshall's contract with The Death in Paradise has wrapped up.
So now he's free. And
now he's free, and now all of a sudden his name's in the running. And his name actually is now at the top of the list, and it's the only male at the top of the list. His bet is 4 out of 5 odds. There's Tilda Swinton at 1 out of 5, which I don't really believe Tilda Swinton would ever do it.
She's too much of a movie star, really, at this point. And it wants to say that because television has gotten a lot better over the years, but generally, if you're a movie star, you don't do television, and if you don't do television, once you jump to movies, you don't go back very often.
And if you do, it's because of something amazing, and normally that means Netflix.
Unless you're Kiefer Sutherland.
Of course. There's 6 out of 1 odds for Olivia Colman. Broadchurch is wrapping up soon, so it's possible. And I know like David Tennant and Billie Piper. Well, David Tennant was the one that says Olivia Colman. Billie Piper was just like, no, they have to do a woman. And then she kind of got some flack for it, which I feel a little bad about because I'm like, come on.
A female doctor would be perfectly fine.
Exactly. And it's about time.
Yeah.
And that's really all she said. There's Phoebe Waller-Bridge from the movie Fleabag. She has an 8 out of 1 odds. She could have been a good one. And then Maxine Peake at 12 out of 1 from BBC's Silk from 2014. It was a kind of a legal drama, like an Ally McBeal.
Yeah.
She looks the part. She's cute, but like looks the part of could be a doctor. But I actually have a feeling if it's not Chris Marshall, it's going to be someone along those lines, a young, in their 30s-esque, because I really feel I just feel like BBC is going to kind of go back into a younger doctor.
Probably, because they think that helped their numbers when they first come out.
Which, the thing is really, we could go into it, but like really, Chris Eccleston
we're going to go off
was
the rails
older.
on this.
We might, whenever they officially announce it,
Yeah.
Might put that in the bid, but Chris Eccleston, we wouldn't have Doctor Who if it wasn't for the brilliance Chris Eccleston was.
Absolutely.
But of course, their numbers really they were steady, but they didn't jump until Tennant was there. And even though Tennant is a little bit older, he looks young.
Yeah.
And then you had Matt Smith, who is young, and that exploded thanks to Netflix. And then Peter Capaldi comes in, and all of a sudden, these young middle school Tumblr girls are really upset that there's an older man.
Yeah, and problem is and this would be the last thing we say on this, but traditionally Doctor Who was always a very older gentleman.
That's why Peter Davison was like, oh my god, because he was young.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But in other news, for Gotham's going to get their Ra's al Ghul in the form of Alexander Siddig. You would know him from Deep Space Nine and also Game of Thrones.
No, wait.
Game of Thrones.
Is he on Game of Thrones?
Yes, he is. He's Doran Martell. That's right.
Okay.
The reason I didn't remember this, everyone, is because they underutilized him in that show. Terribly. Because he's a great actor, and his character is fantastic in the books. But this should be interesting. Gotham is very tenuous for me. I see what they wanted to do, and the moment I saw it, I was like, but you don't need Batman. And it's starting to become the Batman show. And now with Ra's al Ghul...
It's the Batman show for Commissioner Gordon, which I don't like. But anyway, sorry.
Yeah, and so, but this should be very interesting. He's a very good actor, and I think he'll do the part wonderfully. It's just Gotham, I don't know where that is and what it's going to eventually end up being.
Yeah.
I mean, hope somebody's watching it because they keep making seasons of it.
I mean, it was supposed to be like Gordon's origin story, and then they threw in some weird Easter eggy Batman villain stuff, and then everyone fell in love with the villain. So I was like, all right, now we're going to get the entire Batman Rogues
No, it's the
movie.
Batman origin story. This is not Commissioner Gordon. This is the Batman origin story.
But the thing is, though, is I just don't feel like they're utilizing the kid that they have for Bruce Wayne, and I can't remember his name right now, but because he's so cute. Like, he actually looks like Bruce Wayne. He's great, but they're just not using him.
All right. I think we're getting a little off topic on
And you're going to end up with like every villain being like 20 years older than Batman.
Right, yeah. That's why he could kick ass, sorry.
Because they're all geriatrics.
Yeah.
But I think that's it for today.
That is all I've got as well for TV news. Any last words, Chris?
Gotham's weird.
All right. Gotham's weird. Well, you can catch me on Twitter at GirlFridayCause.
I am at BioImportance.
And as always, I am at Mutant Biscuit. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.
And of course, if you have any kind of questions, comments, ideas for the show, please give us a holler at 0mile@terminusmedia.com. And we will see you later.
Make
Bye,
sure to
guys.
like, share, and subscribe.
Twice now.